Hello, 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 and welcome to ER Emotional Response. This is Life Coaching with Ink Ivory. How are you doing today? This is day, I don't know, regarding the quarantine, but we're in it. We're living, we're moving, we have our breath in our lungs, and we're our limbs is moving, and our brain is processing, and our words is articulating in the best way we can. So we got a lot to be thankful for. And I'm still the same Ivory that I was before that. Sometimes I do give a little spill before I dive into the topic. But you know how key it is to have a grateful spirit, and it directly affects your whole body, your energy, because positive energy keeps your immune system up. Positive energy keeps you and your perspective and your thinking ability up. A positive perspective is what you need during this time, especially when it comes to your health. Point blank period. Especially when it comes to your health. So during this time, you really want to look around and see what you're grateful for. Yes, you're stuck in the house. Excuse me. Yes, you're stuck in the house, but at least you got a house to be stuck in. Let's read that one more time. Or not read it. Hear it one more time. Yes, you're stuck in a house, but at least you have a house to be stuck in. That sentence alone is enough to be grateful and thankful for. And I'm not saying who you should direct your thankfulness to. I direct all my thankfulness to God, because in Him we live and move and have our being. However, I'm saying the act of gratefulness you should convey into the world, until let it vibrate off your limbs and through your soul, so that you are affecting your health in a positive way. You're adding to your health instead of subtracting. Because if you're in a corner and you're stressed and you're worried and you're filled with anxiety, you ain't no help to yourself. You're your worst enemy. It's almost like you're walking around and you're just slicing your arm because you're complaining, you're worrying, you're stressing. Take a seat, calm down, look at the things you have to be grateful for. If you don't have a refrigerator full of food, at least you got some food in the refrigerator. If you don't have food in the refrigerator as much as you would like, at least you got food in the cupboards. There was a time in my life when I felt I had to take a stand. I had to be like, I want to say 23, 24. And I had to walk off my job. I've been that courageous to walk off my job. One or two times I have been courageous to walk out of a company or give my 2 weeks resignation. And I can say at this particular time when I was working at the bank and I decided to leave the bank, I can say the only thing to sustain me during those 3 months without work was my spirit. And I can't say that enough, especially during this time, because we didn't have a choice about being pressed into this time. We were pushed into this time, and then it was now adapt and adjust. And a lot of us have adapted and adjusted a lot of us are frail. We're on our last string and we don't know how to maintain. And this is why I do the podcast. For those that are on their last string, on their last limb, because at the end of the day, feelings are normal. They're healthy. Identify your feelings. Acknowledge the fact that you're at your last strand or you're out on a limb. That's okay to acknowledge. But then after you acknowledge that, you just can't stay there. You need to revive yourself, reconnect with someone, reconnect with some sort of energy that brings you back. Because life is about evolving, life is about growing. And the more you acknowledge your state and how you feel, the better you are. But going back to this story before I dive into the topic at hand. I was without a job for about 3 months by choice. By choice. Was I looking for a job? Yes. But that first month, I didn't look for a job. I really didn't. Because I wanted a clear understanding of where I was going, what I wanted to do in my life. And even during this time, that's a message that could apply for you right now. Where are you right now in your life and where are you going? Something to reflect on, okay? That's a little sidebar. Anyways, so I didn't have a lot in the refrigerator. And this is the key reason why I'm bringing this story up. I didn't have a lot in the refrigerator. And I got down to noodles and butter. To some people, they would complain and say, I do not have anything to eat. But I had spigot water and I had noodles and butter. And let me tell you, with a little oregano, that noodles and butter became the best meal. I remember it to this day. I was tearing it up because in my mind, I never fashioned noodles and butter to actually be just a meal. But after I boiled the noodles, I drained them, took them out, stirred the butter in it, and put some oregano on it. It turned into the best meal. And I survived. And I was grateful. But had I been in a stressed, anxiety-filled wave of energy, I probably wouldn't have saw the butters or noodles. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. I remain grateful for everything that I had, and what I did have, I made the best for of it. Some of us been raised on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. If you ain't got any meat in that cupboard or in that freezer or refrigerator, you got some bread, you got some peanut butter, you got some jelly, you put it together and make it work. Can't order out all the time. You don't know how long this is going to go or what is it going to affect in the future. We are living in a time where things are so uncertain. Nobody can predict or affirm anything because it's almost as if our leaders are learning as we learning. There's no learning curve with this. We all are learning at the same process and point. So I just wanted to share it. Remain grateful. Remain grateful. You got heat you can turn on, lights you can click on. You got children you can hug. If you alone and sitting in the house, spend some time with you. Admire you. Admire your existence. What are you good at? Spend some time with that. That energy your body needs is vital. It affects your immune system. It really does. So that's all I'm going to say on that. Because we could keep diving and diving, but the continued topic tonight is go live or go live. And I'm making this a part 2 because you know as well as I know, I'm big on communication and emotions. And the most important person that you want to communicate with is yourself. Outside of God, you want to communicate with yourself. And it's a tricky thing, what I just said, because you talking to yourself is almost like you're talking to God, because He dwells with you. He bears arms in your suffering. He comforts you in your anxieties. So affirming and talking out your emotions can be your own self-therapy. Instead of clicking a button and going live and trying to get people to connect with what you're going through. And a lot of people is being exploited. Their need for attention, their need to be showered with accolades. They're going live and they're focusing on getting it. However, my challenge is go live, and the go live aspect is not saying that go live is a bad tool, because it can be a good instrument. However, you don't want to be codependent on that instrument in order to exist. And so the major and most important communication you want to have is with yourself. What are you feeling? If the therapist is not available and you're low on your pills, who are you talking to? And this is almost preparation as well, because we don't know how bad things are going to get. Some therapists are doing virtual, but what if it gets to a point where there's no virtual? So take this as an alert. It might not be that serious right now, and your emotions might not be getting carried away, because some people can handle being quarantined. But for those that can't, and isolation actually really weighs heavy on their spirit, and they can't function unless they're connecting with people, and so they have to click to go live, I challenge you to go live. Because what if that communication flatlines and you can't have it tomorrow? You can't do it tomorrow. Then what? You have to be able to go live and talk through your emotions. I feel this way. Well, why do I feel this way? Why am I thinking about this? Well, where's that thinking coming from? And if it came from there, why does it mean so much? And so you have to convey to yourself what is actually going on within you to do some resolution. Just to do that. And it's nothing wrong with that. I always encourage people, the person that knows you the most should be you. And the only way you know you is how you handle things when you're up, when you're down, when you're boxed in, when you're free. Get to know you. Some have never been isolated like this to this degree. Well, get to know your emotions and what's going on during this time. As you know you and why you feel this, it becomes a learning experience. And then you understand, okay, when I am forced to be